Hey y'all, welcome to Kamira's Kitchen. Today I'm going to show you how to make some delicious chicken and dumplings made super easy in the Instant Pot. Don't forget to check out my ebook in the description box, and we're going to go ahead and get right into this recipe, baby. Now I have 5 chicken legs. I've already cleaned them, and I'm going to add some olive oil. My friends gifted me some herb salt, so I'm going to use that to season this chicken. Most people won't have that, so you can just use about a half a teaspoon of poultry seasoning and, of course, salt to taste. I'm going in with some white pepper and some chicken seasoning. You guys, I'll have that chicken seasoning linked in the description box. And then I'm just going to massage my chicken, okay? I'm going to rub it down, baby. The technique, seasonings, and recipe for this chicken and dumpling is probably going to be different than your grandmama's, but trust me, if you make this, you are going to love this. In a skillet, I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of unsalted butter. I'm going to let this melt, and then I'm going to add my chicken, and I'm going to brown it for about 3 to 4 minutes on each side. You're not concerned with cooking the chicken, but you do want it to get brown because those seasonings are going to taste better, and it's going to make your dumplings taste better. I know a lot of people don't do this. They just throw the chicken in raw in the pot, and you can get some good dumplings that way. But if you want to increase the depth of flavor, especially when you're doing a pressure cook recipe, don't skip browning the chicken with the spices on it. It's going to totally change the game. Now, once they have some good color on them, you're going to take them out and you're going to go ahead and put them in your Instant Pot, liner. Then I'm going in with some chopped up celery, some carrots, and some onion. I used about 3 stalks of celery, half an onion, and about 3 carrots. But that's because I love a lot of veggies. You actually could use less, especially since I'm only using about 1.5 pounds of bone-in chicken. I'm going to saute this for about 3 minutes, and then I'm going to add a generous pinch of salt. That's going to help these veggies sweat out because the salt is going to pull out that moisture. And then I'm going to saute them for about 30 more seconds. Then I'm going to go in with about 1.5 teaspoons of fresh minced garlic. Don't you pull that stuff out from the jar, baby. You got to cut up some fresh garlic to get that good flavor. Season that with some garlic powder as well as some white pepper and a little bit of dried thyme. I'm going to saute this for just about 30 seconds until you can smell them spices all up in your kitchen, honey. Okay, that's when you're going to know that it's ready. Then I am going to add about 1 tablespoon more of butter to my skillet, and I'm going to melt this because I'm going to be toasting 2 tablespoons of flour right in the skillet with the veggies. I've seen other people take the flour and mix it with water and stuff like that. No need for that. Just mix it, toast it a little bit, and then mix it all around with your vegetables. Toast it for about 3 to 4 minutes continuously on medium heat. That's going to get the raw flour taste out. And when you pressure cook this, or even if you decide to do this on the stove, the flour is just naturally going to thicken the gravy as the whole dish cooks. Now, this is where I'm, putting my own Kamira's Kitchen spin on it. I like to put a little bit of chive in my dumplings. It's really good. Now, if you don't have chive, fresh chive, you can use dried chives. It adds a nice little garlicky, oniony flavor that's not overwhelming, especially since right now, it's summertime. So this is like a nice spring, summer chicken and dumplings with some herbs. I have a cup of flour, and I'm also going to add 1 teaspoon of salt and 1 teaspoon of baking powder, not baking soda, okay? Mix that very well, and then add 2 tablespoons of melted butter. This is unsalted. Now, in total, I used about 1/2 cup of buttermilk, but I put in about 1/4 cup first, and then I slowly added more. I didn't want to add too much liquid, and you're going to see that with this 1/4 cup, it's going to be too dry. So I'm just going to keep mixing, and then I'm going to go in and I'm going to add a little bit more, and you're going to see that the dough eventually is going to become very sticky. I prefer to use this drop biscuit method of making my chicken and dumplings. I do know that a lot of people like to roll out the dough and cut squares. Baby, you can do that, okay? But when I'm just doing like a quick weeknight or Instant Pot chicken and dumplings, I really like the drop biscuit method. Let me know in the comments, what were you raised having? Did you have like the drop biscuit dumplings? Did you have the roll out square dumplings? What did you have? Now that my drop biscuit dough is prepared, then basically from here, everything else is going to come together super quickly. I already have my chicken in my Instant Pot, and now I'm going to be adding the sauteed vegetables with the flour. Take 3 cups of water and put that in your skillet. You want to mix that around so you don't leave none of your seasonings behind. I'm going in with 2 bay leaves, some rosemary, and some thyme. Now these fresh herbs, maybe you don't use them in your dumplings, but if you haven't before, give them a try because they will give your broth a very nice flavor. Since I'm adding water, I'm going to use a tablespoon of low sodium, better than bouillon, and then I'm going to add 2 of these chicken and herb bouillon cubes. You could use regular bouillon cubes, whichever one you like, or you can just use 3 cups of chicken broth of your preference. Now I'm going to just drop these little biscuits all over the top of the Instant Pot. I know some people love a lot of dumplings, so feel free to just double the recipe for the dumplings, but this is enough for me and my family. Now I'm going to put on the lid and I'm going to pressure cook this for 8 minutes. I will then natural pressure release for 10 minutes, and then I will quick release the rest of the way. Now, once this is done, you do want to go in there with some tongs and go ahead and take out that chicken. It's going to pretty much be fall off the bone. You also want to fetch out them twigs, okay? Because we're not going to eat that, all right? Now, when your chicken is all out, put it to the side on a plate, and you want to use 2 forks to just shred off the meat. Now, really, that's not even going to be hard because the Instant Pot really has tenderized that chicken so well, which is one of the reasons I prefer to make my chickens and dumplings in a pressure cooker as opposed to on the stove. Now, before we add the chicken back in, you want to add some creaminess to the stew. So I put in 3/4 of a cup of half and half. You could also use half of a cup of heavy cream. And if you're dairy free, I don't know what you're doing, okay, because you need some cream in this. Now, to season this, I'm going to just add a little bit more white pepper and just a touch more of that chicken seasoning. And then I'm going to stir it up and I'm going to add in my chicken. You will see that your gravy is going to start to thicken up well just with the shredded chicken all in it. And guys, you just taste it, see if it works for you. And this is some really delicious and comforting chicken and dumplings. Let me know in the comments if you're going to try this. Remember, I love you and Jesus loves you. And I will see you next time in Kamira's Kitchen. God bless everyone who watches my channel. Goodbye.